Sadie Engelhardt, the freshman, who is ranked 5th all-time in U.S. high school girls mile history. And she's going to run against Juliette Whittaker, the second fastest high school girl at 800 meters. I cannot wait for this one.
Yeah, and they ran nationals indoors this year where Juliette won and Sadie was second. They were back and forth, 437.23 to 437.4. They know how to race each other, but there's a lot of names in this race that could challenge them up front.
You are exactly right. Juliette Whittaker, the 7th fastest high school girls mile in a high school only competition. Sadie Engelhardt, meanwhile, 3rd in that category, behind Dahlia Frias, who we saw in the 2 miles, setting a new record in that event for outdoor 2 miles for U.S. high school girls. Caitlin Toohey, the record in that one. So that's one to watch at 4:33.87. Mary Kane's high school girls mile record, she ran it indoors of 4:28.25. The other mark to beat when you look at the record books at the high school girls mile ranks. But the meet record here in this event, it is quite an impressive one, and it was Juliette Whittaker just one season ago as she looks to reclaim the crown here in 2022.
Get set for the girls 1 mile. Whittaker taking control of this race as Whittaker is going to take the win in 4:38 high.
Big expectations every time Juliette Whittaker and Sadie Engelhardt take the track. The latest installment in what has been a very fun back and forth between these two young ladies. Whittaker winning last year in 4:38.65. What a year she has had, Carrie. You mentioned the indoor season, but that 1:59.800 as well. A historic run for the young lady from the state of Maryland.
Yeah, you know, we were on Instagram going back and forth too, and I didn't realize she has had quite the year. Her grandfather passed, which was really tough for her. And she also had COVID, and then she had some injuries. And, you know, it just seems like everything was going so well. She's running so fast, but for her to kind of, you know, just figure out how to, you know, compartmental, or, you know, get her mind right is what I'm trying to say. Get her mind right when all these hard things were happening. That's really impressive. And Juliette Whittaker is just a star, and she brings everyone along with her.
You're absolutely right. Some of the other runners in this field, Mary Ellen Udaley from Tampa, Florida, ran a 4:45 at the Festival of Miles, the 5th fastest all-time in Florida high school history, a future Arkansas Razorback. The Stanford Cardinal well represented here. We mentioned Juliette Whittaker. She's headed to Stanford. Ava Parekh also headed to Stanford out of Latin High School in Chicago, Illinois. Riley Stewart in this race as well, wearing hip number 2, 7th fastest in the country this year, running 4:39.08 over 1,600. She's headed to Stanford. Sam McDonnell, the future Alabama runner. Lauren Ping, who's headed to Oklahoma State. Taylor Rohatinsky, who's headed to BYU. But Sadie Engelhardt and Juliette Whittaker headline this field, a very fast field. The girls' 1 mile is underway.
And Sadie Engelhardt off the line super fast. She got out. She wanted that position on the inside rail. Juliette Whittaker getting right in behind her, but it was amazing to see her get off that line so fast. She clearly knows, as a young athlete, she's only a freshman, how to get position.
Unbelievable what she has done as a freshman, and it is Engelhardt and Whittaker, followed by the other future Stanford runner, Riley Stewart, who is on the inside. Maya Cochran, who is headed to Arkansas, the Pennsylvania state champs at a season best of 4:46 for her a month ago. 3-time cross-country champion. So many impressive state title running credentials from all across the country. Battling with Engelhardt and Whittaker, who are 1 and 2 here coming up on a quarter of the way through. And it's Engelhardt.
4:11, 1,500 meters at the Portland Track Festival last weekend. I mean, 4:11. is really fast. You know, I can remember when Jordan Hussey ran a sub 4:10 as a senior in high school. So for her to be doing this when she's in ninth grade is pretty, you know, one of a kind.
It is pretty terrific as Sadie Engelhardt goes out in 70, leading this group right there. So 4:40 pace for Engelhardt, Whittaker right behind her in 71, Sam McDonnell, Riley Stewart, and Maya Cochran. The top 5, 600 meters in, and the same order. And this looks like the strategy for both Engelhardt and Whittaker. Engelhardt wanting to take the lead, Whittaker content to just hang right there in second.
And Whittaker was the first to say she's learning how to race. She's gaining confidence and experience every time she toes the line. She said she is going to run the U20s and she's going to run the 800 there. She wants more experience against athletes her own age. She's competed against athletes, obviously, that are at the professional level at the Olympic trials and other races. But she wanted and she chose to run the U20. She's hoping to run the World Championships and to get some more experience before she heads off to college next year.
Couple of laps to go, just right still at about 4:40, 4:38 pace. Sadie Engelhardt coming in 2:21, right with Juliette Whittaker right behind her. Riley Stewart is going to swing to the outside and ask some questions of the leaders here on the outside of lane number 1, now running into lane number 2. This is still anybody's race. We mentioned the main 2 characters in this story in Engelhardt and Whittaker a lot, but there is so much talent, and like we mentioned, state champions from all across the country who have run races just like this one, and this is going to be a very quick and very fun final 500 meters.
Yep, Sam McDonnell's still in there, hip number 3. She ran 4:37 at her state championships. Lauren Ping coming around all the time, has great range. She's in the mix. I mean, all of these athletes, look at them all coming across the 400-meter mark to go, and there's what, 10 of them in it.
And there is the bell. Riley Stewart right on the outside shoulder of Sadie Engelhardt. It'll be Stewart who takes the bell at 3:32, running 70 seconds on that last lap, pushing the pace here inside these final 400 meters. But the defending champion and meet record holder, Juliette Whittaker, is still right there in striking distance. It's Stewart. It's Whittaker, Engelhardt on the inside, Maya Cochran from Moon Area High School in this top 5 that is breaking away, and a very fast 200 meters upcoming. Here goes Whittaker to the outside.
Whittaker in great position, but here comes our ladies up in the back there. This is not one person's race right now. Oh my goodness, check it out.
And look at Julia Flynn making a big push here too, inside the final 100 meters, where Juliette Whittaker tries to recapture the magic from 2021 and improve on her meet record. Sadie Engelhardt on her outside, but Whittaker goes back to back. 4:36.24, 2 years, 2 new meet records for the young lady from the state of Maryland.
Wow, what an exciting race, Will. I mean, with 150 meters to go, it was anybody's race. You know, it was positioning, but also anybody's race when you come around the turn like that and you can swing wide like some of the athletes did. They had to get around the 2 big names that we were talking about, Engelhardt and Whittaker, and they just had that final little spurt to outkick the rest of the field. But it was a solid 10 athletes with 400 to go, whittled down a little bit in the final 150. But what a great way to end the races for the girls. Look at this right here. Whittaker moving hard. Engelhardt looking strong still. Look at her face. Look at her form. Still well within herself. But Whittaker just had that final little burst and her final PR race here at the Brooks PR meet. And maybe that was all that she needed to get her to that tape first.
And Juliette Whittaker moves to number 7 in the all-time U.S. high school girls mile list with a new run of 4:36.24. It is the 4th fastest girls mile in a high school only field, only behind Caitlin Toohey, Dahlia Frias, Sadie Engelhardt, and now Juliette Whittaker.